So I'm constructing a design for Native America. So it's been in 400 years since British colonization began, and or around 400 years, 450 something years. And so presumably that has been happening in waves, kind of like chess. And so the United States of America is a country, like they had colonies, but the United States of America is a country that was established because like in British colonization they did not actually, like none of the countries that actually came from Europe, like none of those countries actually made a country in um the United States of America. I mean, Canada is, I think, that's not really, even Canada isn't actually, like, I think that may have been part of the British Commonwealth, but even Canada is not actually like Britain. And so I think what is really interesting when it comes to Native America, um, is the United States of America specifically is not Britain. And the War of Independence, like in the Revolutionary War, like these wars were fought, and then the United States of America was established. And so the United States of America is a it's an amalgamation of many cultures, and presumably British colonization was happening in waves. And so this design that I'm constructing is I'm kind of modeling it on chess. And so like there have you can see it as like maybe six waves. And so like kind of as I'm also constructing the Ivory Empire, the 6 points on the Star of David kind of represent in this design kind of represents the six waves of British colonization because the British also colonized Persia. And so, like, for example, there are refugees that have been rescued from the Middle East. There are hostages that have been rescued from the Middle East and have taken refuge in the United States of America, and bloodlines that are descendants of Persia. And that was also in British colonization. Australia, British colonization. Canada, British colonization. Africa, British colonization. So, like, I think what would be really beautiful in the story that I'm constructing, and then that story that is storytelling is an integral part of culture. And if you have a powerful enough storyteller, it can be the most powerful part of culture. And so, like, the story that I'm constructing here is the story of the Ivory Empire. And also sometimes, in order for something to actually be brought to fruition and to actually like manifest into our genuine world, like somebody may tell a story and then be like, wow, we should actually build that. And so I am presenting the story as I'm also presenting Lionel Henry architecture. Like I'm presenting the story of the Ivory Empire that is a sapling that may grow to be the Ivory Empire at some point in time. Just like the United States of America was colonies and then it was a country. That's how life works. And so I'm constructing this like design, and it is like laid out similarly to chess, like so six waves of the Star of David. The 6 points of the star are the waves that it kind of like, so like the 6 points of the star are like the waves of people who are like arriving to America. So the pawns represent the colonists. The rooks represent scholars, so people who are documenting what is happening in society, people who are higher educated. Because I mean, like the founding fathers presumably were scholars, and that's kind of so like there are colonists, like peasants, farmers. Those are the people who are like settling, and then like scholars, educated people, like actually formulate the like structure of the society and kind of consolidate what the society actually is. That was how the some of the amendments that led to the or some of the structure that led to the Revolutionary War was laid out. Then the knights, that's like the military and the government. Like the government is kind of like formulated by, like kind of was formulated from like the war with the indigenous people. And then like there was a government structure that was like laid out because of that war, and then also because of the Revolutionary War. And then like the United States of America is like officially founded. Then the bishops are like transportation. So like bishops like move, like they can kind of like move um farther than like a, you know, like a knight or a pawn. And so like that kind of represents like transportation. And so like you have like cars and like railroads, and like slavery is kind of like introduced in that aspect. That kind of is how like you can see more waves of colonization, because like British colonization includes a lot of Africa, and that was where they were buying slaves from African kings. And so like that's kind of how all of these things factor in. And so then like we're like you're seeing how like the waves of the of colonization are like arriving, and how it's like consolidating how we came from conquerors. I wrote that intentionally. And so then like in the so that's kind of like transportation. Then you have like when you have transportation, that's when you have roads, and that's when your infrastructure is like actually consolidated. That's how Manifest Destiny begins. People are able to actually travel, and then people are actually like discovering new territories, and like people are actually settling new territories. That was how like the you know like there were countries that claimed various like regions in in like North America, and then like they like the United States of America was formed, and none of those countries actually like made an actual country in the United States, but they were all like that is like ingrained, like the places that were claimed, that is ingrained into the culture of that region. And then there's also the Native Americans who were like, well, none of this actually matters because you're not going to be able to hold this land anyways. And so like I think that was the whole point of the story, is that it's like I don't think anybody, like any Native American, was under any impression that they were like the Europeans were ever actually going to be able to like permanently hold this land. But anyways, so I mean that's kind of what's happening. Is it's like I'm revealing to people that that's not exactly what's happening. And so then like the so that's the bishops and transportation, that kind of like how it shows how travel is like making the horizon more like visible, and like making the picture more cohesive. And then the queen, that's kind of like emissaries. So like the queen is the most powerful piece, and like it can move like as dynamically as like any of the pieces can, or more dynamically than any other pieces can. And it also like is just, I mean, really, it is interesting because the queen is not any more powerful than any of the pieces. The pawn, like you can check a piece with a pawn. I don't know if you can check a piece with the king. I don't know if the king can check people. Like I don't know if the king can do that, or like I don't know if the king can like actually like take out a piece. So like you check the king. I don't know if you check any other pieces. I think checking is actually just what the pieces do. But yeah, anyways, like I don't know if the king can check pieces though. He might be able to. But the king is castling. We'll get there. So like the queen is like the emissaries, and so like they have the same level of power as any of the other pieces. They're just way more versatile and can move greater distances and are faster. I don't even know if you can say faster, but like they like it. What it looks like, how it appears, is that it's faster. And like so like the queen is like moving, and it's like the most dynamic piece, and like it is your like that's your power player, you know. And so then you like so like the emissaries for like the United States of America, freedom of speech is our most powerful, like, and also our most attractive quality. And it like is um like freedom of speech is our most powerful like method of uh like uh enriching our like culture, and like spreading our culture or whatever. And so that's like why the queen is so important, because like that's why it's an emissary, because like our emissaries can travel the globe, and like they can travel the greatest distance, and like with something as simple as like, oh, hey, this is our architecture, this is what we have to offer, this is what our like civilization is, this is like who we are. And then and again, the pandemic began because like or from like really just me pulling that sword out of the stone twice. And then like the pandemic, like literally like the whole earth was shut down, which just never happened really. And so like I think that's the whole point of why our queen piece is an emissary, because it's a very powerful piece that we don't need to, that we have to be kind of like um that we kind of have to like employ sparingly, but like when we do, it's like a nuke. And it's like a light chasm nuke. So like that's kind of what it is. That's what the queen is. But like this one is like not what Harry S. Truman did. I did not build like a weapon of mass destruction technically. Like I built a light chasm so that people would be like, hey, this is like our like this light chasm nuke is just like, hey, this is just like really like visible blatant truth. So like that's the whole point of America, is like that's what the light chasm nuke is. It's very imposing, but it's not like inherently harmful. It's just blatant truth. And so I think that that's kind of why the queen piece like is an emissary. And then the king is architecture. So it's like LH architecture then arrives because we just like employed our queen chess piece, which was like the light chasm nuke, which is the World Trade Center. And then Lionel Henry architecture arrives and it's like, hello everyone. We just had to turn this light on super bright. Because like somebody was like the soul of our nation was like kind of under fire. And like that's just what it is. Like freedom of speech infractions are not to be tolerated in the United States of America. So that was the whole point of the like hazard nuke. And then like LH architecture is like, hi everyone, this is why we just had to do this light hazard nuke, because we have this architecture firm, and like we can literally build houses for free for everyone in like 2 minutes. And so like having other countries trying to like slow us down for no reason, when we have like hydroelectric power and architecture, like unlimited architecture and like unlimited hydroelectric resource, and people are trying to slow us down because they're trying to enforce like unnecessary restrictions or like monetary constraints on something that doesn't need to have that, because that is stuff that the British brought here in British colonization. And so, and when in the American Revolution, when we won the admiration of these countries across the sea, that's kind of what's happening in these waves, is that it's like the king, like Persia was settled, or like was like the British landed in Persia in like 1850 something, and then the uh, Australia was founded in 1901. And so what's kind of happening now is that it's like, as we're revealing this architecture firm, we are kind of like revealing that like Persia is like in the waves that like of British colonization that has arrived in America. I'm like kind of like arriving as a Persian and a Native American, and I'm just like, hello, hi everyone. Um, Really, this is kind of what's happening. Like, I am the sixth wave of British colonization. I'm kind of representing the sixth wave of British colonization. And it's like, hi, everybody. This is what's happening. We have this architecture firm, and we have like this hydroelectric power. We have unlimited resources and bountiful prosperity for pretty much everybody on Earth. And all I ask of you is that you don't burden me with money, that you don't burden me and everybody else with money, and the Bible, and the Abrahamic religions in general, because it is a waste of time. That's the whole point of the story. And so, like, that's kind of also like you see that like there are like that's what it was. It was a culture war. And so I'm kind of just like presenting the Ivory Empire, and it's like, hi everyone, hi everyone, this is the Ivory Empire. I'm Persian. This is the Ivory Empire, and it's kind of like how you're like arriving, and it's like there's like a you're like arriving in this wave, and it's like there are these waves that have arrived. So like the colonists were here. The United States of America was founded. The War of 1812 and the indigenous people. Like there are these things that have happened throughout history, and like I have been educated by all of these waves, by each wave of the British colonization. And it's like, hi, the king has arrived. America was founded, and like during British colonization, it's just kind of like the Titanic sinking. Not everybody knew that there was a king sapling planted in America, but it's like, hello, I'm the sixth wave of British colonization, and I'm like, hi everybody, I'm the sapling that had been planted here, and I'm just like, hi, hi America, this is what's happening now. This architecture firm, kings and chess pieces, like the king chess piece and chess castles. That's a move that the king chess piece does. It's called castling. So this architecture firm is castling in America right now, and that's what the Ivory Empire is. That's what's happening right now. That's what's happening now. And so that is like I'm just revealing. I'm revealing myself. And it's beautiful. So yeah, like that's what it is, and it's really beautiful. We're revealing this culture, revealing like the Ivory culture, revealing this civilization, revealing new methods of communication. We're revealing how all of the technology that has been like created in North America, really in all of North America, the Maya to present. It's like the Ivory Empire incorporates all of these things. And the Ivory Empire incorporates, like clothing styles, Persian clothing styles, and architecture, and like how there are like how when the commodification of humanity on the globe, when that falls away, then we can restore the world to what it actually, how it is actually intended to be, and how it was actually intended to look, which is beautiful, which is not gaudy, which is not people wearing ties and suits, because that was that's in the earlier waves of British colonization. It's fine that it happened, but this is the Persian wave. This is the Ivory Empire. This is the future, because the future has arrived, and the king is castling, and the king is learning architecture, and that is what's happening now. That is your preview of what the future is going to look like in North America. That is what the future is going to look like in Native America.